What's up, YouTube? It's Onion Bomb here on Ascent Sports, and welcome back to my final installment of my NFL game predictions, record predictions for 2019 season for all the teams. This is the final division I have to do. It's the NFC South. We got the Eagles, we got the Giants, we got the Redskins, and we got the Cowboys. This is the last division. We did the entire AFC. Then after this, we'll do the entire NFC. And yeah, that was my entire predictions completed for the teams. And after this, I will be doing a playoff and Super Bowl prediction. But there is a little bit of a downside to this. Of course, I've mentioned in a couple of these videos that these predictions are kind of old. It just took me a while to actually make these videos. I didn't want it to take me this long to make these videos, but knowing me, it probably should have came to mind. But yeah, it took me this long. So, like, for example, my Colts prediction, even though I had them going like 9-7, even though that was still low compared to some people, I did have that prediction as if Andrew Luck were to play. So same goes today with the Cowboys. I have this prediction as if, Zeke and Dak also play. I don't think Dak is holding out. I think it's just Zeke, but Dak had, the contract thing due on $40 million, and the Zeke might hold out. So just, kind of pointless for some of these, but yeah, we'll have to just kind of disregard that and say what gives. My main good predictions are going to be my week by week game predictions as the season goes on, because those are going to be timely and I'll actually know what's going on and take things into consideration, such as injuries, retirements, and stuff like that. With that short discussion aside, one more thing. The disclaimer in all these videos. This is just, my prediction. Nothing to get mad at. Just me having fun predicting the games. It's hard to predict, upsets and whatnot. But, hey, I tried to. Just having fun. What really matters is how these teams actually play this coming year. And, yeah, nothing to get too mad at. So I hope you don't. Once again, even though we've been doing pretty good with non-hate comments, I just wanted to make that disclaimer just for insurance. So yeah, let's get into the NFC South predictions. The first team I'm going to start with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I believe the Cowboys won this division last year, and the Eagles went as a wild card. Well, I definitely have a case for the Eagles this year for playoffs, because I have them going 10-6. I think this is a good record for the Eagles, maybe even a bit higher. If you see, I do have quite a few upsets for the Eagles here. I have them beating the Redskins week 1, and then even beating Atlanta in week 2. But I have Detroit upsetting them pretty early on. But then them getting kind of an upset themselves at Green Bay, beating Green Bay. Even though sometimes I don't really always take home field advantage into consideration. I sometimes do. They have them being the Jets, and they're losing to the Vikings. I think they're losing to the Cowboys, and then they're gonna beat the Bills, but then they're gonna lose to the Bears. I do have them beating New England. I think they're gonna repeat how they played in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and I think they will be able to beat New England, one of the few teams that do. I think they're gonna beat Seattle. Here's an upset that people, if any, are going to get mad at. I have them getting upset by the Dolphins. I mean, it is at Miami, but, I think this is just going to be, a tweak game for them. A game that they should not lose, but they do. But, it's not that big of a deal. Then I have them beating the Giants, but then losing to the Redskins, and beating the Cowboys, and then beating the Giants, sweeping the Giants, splitting with Washington, and splitting with Dallas. And that fizzles out to 10-6 for the Philadelphia Eagles. possibly winning the division, probably playoffs. So yeah, I think that's a good record for them, 10-6. So yeah, that's my Eagles prediction. Now, moving on, the Cowboys. We're gonna do the Cowboys next. And believe it or not, I actually have a very similar situation from last year, similar divisional battle between the Cowboys and the Eagles. I think, as of now, I think the Eagles would win it, but I originally thought, Zeke was going to play and all the Cowboys are going to play. So I in this prediction, I do have the Cowboys wins. Like I said, through all these videos, I'm sticking to my predictions. I have the Cowboys with Zeke, very important, going 11-5 and winning the NFC South. Eagles come very close, but are just one game under it. So yeah, I have the Cowboys beating the Giants, beating the Redskins, beating the Dolphins, losing to the Saints. They got the upset there last year, but they're not going to do it this year, I don't think. Beat the Packers, beat the Jets, beat the Eagles first time around. But then they're going to get upset by the Giants. And they're going to lose to the Vikings. They're going to beat the Lions. I have them beating New England also. Beating Buffalo. Have them losing to Chicago. Have them beating the Rams too. And then losing to Philly. And splitting with them, and then being the Redskins. So I have them sweeping the Redskins, actually, splitting with the Giants, and splitting with the Eagles, finishing 11-5, and yes, going to the playoffs, winning this division. That's just what I thought. I know definitely now it could change if Ezekiel Elliott does hold out. If he doesn't, though, then I'm actually sticking with this prediction. I think the Cowboys are a good team. Zeke's a really good running back, one of the greats. Dak and Amari Cooper got something there. And I think the Cowboys defense is pretty good too. So I like this prediction. I like 11-5 for the Cowboys. If they all play, if Zeke holds out, that might change things. Not too drastically. They're not going to be a horrible team, but I don't think they'll beat New England or like the Rams. So Zeke is definitely key for some victories, not all of them though. But Eagles, I think that's a good 10-6 is good for a wild card. Definitely great case for a wild card. So yeah, we'll see that next time how that all fizzles out with the playoffs. Alright, so next up we have the New York Giants. And this team hasn't really been good recently. And then they drafted Daniel Jones, which everyone kind of memed them on. Even though it might not be that meme-worthy. He might be good, but we'll have to see him play. But yeah, I just don't think they're still that good of a team. And yeah, I have them going 3-13. Yeah, I mean, losing to Dallas, losing to Buffalo, losing to the Buccaneers. I have them getting the first one over Washington, but then losing to Minnesota, losing to New England. I have them beating Arizona, losing to the Lions, and the upset win over the Cowboys, but then, the Jets, the Bears, the Packers, the Eagles, the Dolphins, the Redskins, the Eagles for the second time. I had those all L's. So, I mean, they do split with the Cowboys and the Redskins, but they do get swept by the Eagles. And yeah, honestly, the only W I'm considering giving them here is over Miami, because they do have home field, and they just could be a better team than Miami. Maybe Tampa Bay, but I don't. I feel like Tampa could get that win too. And Arizona could even get this over them. So I don't know. I'm sticking to the record 3-13. Cowboys. Giants just not that good yet. But yeah, we'll see if they can rebuild good with Daniel Jones. All right, so the last team here, the very last team here is the Washington Redskins, and man, honestly, it's a shame what happened with Alex Smith, but they are getting Darius Geis back. We'll see how he can do. I thought this team was kind of a sleeper team, maybe. Like if if Alex Smith didn't get hurt, this team I might have had even winning this division this year and just being like the shocker. But man, with the injury to Alex Smith and Dwayne Haskins, maybe. Case Keenum is starting, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I just don't really see too much of the Redskins, and this could be a bit low, but I have them at 4-12, not too much better than the Giants. Their quarterback situation isn't really helping them is what the main concern I have. Like overall, they're don't seem to be the best team, but yeah, I have them losing to the Eagles first, then Cowboys, then the Bears. Those are 3 tough teams. Then I have them losing against the Giants, the New England. Minus the Giants, that's a tough first 5 games. I do have them beating Miami, but then losing to San Francisco, losing to Vikings, losing to the Bills, losing to the Jets, losing to the Lions. I have them beating the Panthers. I have them losing to the Green Bay Packers, though. I do have them, upsetting the Eagles, getting one on them. With the divisional rivalry upset. I have them getting one over the Giants. I like the Giants and Redskins playing this year. And then I have them getting swept by the Cowboys by getting another L. So yeah, sweeping by the Cowboys, switching with the Giants, and switching with the Eagles. That comes out to 4-12. Just not the best record. Not really good at all. But yeah, it's a shame what happened with Alex Smith. Possibly different if they, if he didn't get injured. But yeah, that's where I'm going. It's just, it's hard to give, the Redskins wins over some of these teams. Like they've already proven themselves. Sure, maybe the Redskins might be able to upset some of these guys, but for now, I just don't really see too much of it happening. And yeah, who knows? Maybe Dwayne Haskins could be pretty good, and maybe he'll shock me and surprise me. But for now, I'll stick to that record of 4-12. Okay, so that was my NFC East predictions. First place, we have the Dallas Cowboys at 11-5. Second place, not far behind at all, we have the Philadelphia Eagles at 10-6. Third place, Washington Redskins 4-12. And last place, we have the New York Giants at 3-13. So yeah, that's just what I'm feeling. Don't know. Maybe the Giants and Redskins will surprise me. Maybe the Cowboys and Eagles will surprise me in a bad way. So we'll have to see. Like I said, Cowboys definitely could change. But in this particular prediction, we're gonna pretend Ezekiel Elliott is definitely gonna play. So alright guys, that is going to do it for my NFL 2019 record predictions for all the teams, because that wraps up the last division. So if you go back and watch all of them, you can probably figure out yourself who's in the playoffs, but don't worry, you have to do that. I'll make a playoff and Super Bowl video, early predictions on those. And that will bring in, all the teams, all the records, and see who makes the playoffs, and, who just misses and who, misses by a mile. So, yeah. And then we'll have my prediction on who the Super Bowl 54? I've lost count. Super Bowl 50, whatever. I think it's 54, champion is. So that's going to do it for me for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like or dislike, subscribe or don't subscribe. No, it's always up to you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Watch it for me. Goodbye.